My crafty friends, we are going to start getting my October 2023 album all done. I knew I put this project away last year without finishing it because I got overwhelmed last year and wanted to start on December daily stuff and kind of just burnt out on the October daily stuff for some reason. I don't know what happened last year. I was very, very busy in October last year with my photography business. So, that happens. So when I went through, I'm not going to do a flip through yet because I'll do a flip through at the end. But when I went through, it looked like I had gotten all the way to story 19, but skipped story 18 and went to 19. I don't know, I think probably because I wanted a 2-page spread for 18 or for 19. So I just went right to went and did that. So we're going to go back to 18 and 19 and get this finished up the way I hope to get it all finished up. So I still had some foundation pages even stuck in there. So we're going to use those up here soon. Yeah, so we're going to do day 18 and day 20. Luckily I did write down some, not everything. It looks like, I did an okay job with, not in the end really, but I did an okay job of journaling. At the end, it kind of got a little, sparingly, but, yeah, actually, I didn't do a very good job in October at all. Look at all that time. Thankfully, we have this. But I did, in the beginning, track every day in my ideas. So I did go back to that. So we are good there at least. Yeah, we're just kind of going off of that. And we're going to do our own thing. So, so it was supposed to be, like I said, 5 things of fall. We switched that to 19. So we're going to go back and do 19. We're going to do a little story on nasty weather. So when I went back into all my pictures, I don't really know why I chose this for this day, but I do remember it being like such a rainy October. It was a really not a good October. So, oh, you know what? And I pulled out the wrong stamp. Anyways, so we are going to talk about that. I have these cards from Ellie's Studio that I'm going to kind of do. It's just going to be a nice quick story on some vellum that I would like to get used. Again, I really am going to be trying to use my stash so that this year I can maybe get a kit. I don't know. I just have a lot of October daily stuff still. And oh, I did get the Ellie Edwards Halloween kit last year. So yeah, so I'm going to be trying to use that because that was just a hard kit for me to use. As much as Ellie's stuff usually fits my style, it didn't. So we're going to try and use some of that and get these stories finished so that we can move on. So, all right, let's get started. Alright guys, so if you didn't follow my videos last year, they are all in my playlist, which I will link up here in the eye and down in the description, and I probably will link it at the end of the video so everybody can go back and watch it. But it looks like I left off on day 18, did day 19 just because it looked like it fit better at 19. So we're going to do 18 and 20 today. And though I couldn't find pictures of what I wanted to capture of this one, I do know that I wrote down stories about just it always raining this month and, you know, random things like that. So this is probably a little bit of a placeholder story, which is fine. Definitely have your placeholder stories, have breaks in your albums. It definitely helps like the eyes rest and all that kind of stuff. So this is just a picture from a pumpkin patch that we had went to throughout the month. I have a similar picture on the next spread, but it's not the same exact picture. It's just a different one. We really are going to put a piece of vellum over this anyways. Vellum, no, transparency over this, and get one of those out of the way. It's a Pretty Pink Studio one that I probably purchased like literally the first year I was doing scrapbooking. So I really am trying to use my stash. I think that that's probably a good theme for 2024, right? I did end up, when I'm going through all of this, or at the end of the seasons, I usually put everything like into like clear totes and store them underneath, especially seasonal stuff. And I've come to the conclusion I'm going to set up my October Daily cart. I usually keep a cart of just like October Daily stuff, and then when December Daily comes, I will keep a tote of that, just to keep it off my desk, keep it a little bit cleaner, but so that I can see everything, because I definitely could not see everything that I had in my little tote, and I probably could have used some more embellishments if I could have seen them. All right, so for this though, these Pretty Pink Studio transparencies are only 8 by 8. So obviously like we need that 2.5, not 2.5, 0.25 more to go to the bottom of our spread. So this is kind of what I'm doing right there, is I cut off like a 1/2 inch, I believe, to make it to the end of the spread. This paper is from Tracy Reed's design kits. I will link that kit below, but as I think this was haunted, but you will see this throughout this album because this was just the kit that she had released at that time, and I was working a ton with it. So I also then just cut off or cut out a small piece to make into a pocket. I do realize that you are going to be able to see the vellum, gosh, I don't know why I keep on saying vellum, but the adhesive and the back of this paper when you flip over this transparency. Guys, I'm not worried about it. It's not going to be perfect. I am trying to get this done. I am trying to finish up this project so that we can move on to this year, and done is better than perfect. And that's pretty much how I've come. I cannot sit here and try and make 1,000 decisions while I am doing this project, or I won't get it done. You'll see that a couple of times throughout this where I'm just like, it's fine. It's fine. Even if it's not perfect, it's fine. And it's done. So again, another theme that is probably going to happen. So anytime you see me doing that, I'm sorry, it is off screen. I'm still kind of getting used to this setup, but I was just trying to make it straight so that I can make sure everything is straight. But all right, I'm going to put that weather report card in there and using more of that because those cards have been sitting up there for like forever. I haven't ordered from Ellie's studio in probably a year because I have so much. I also haven't used this punch in forever because I've been working with Snap albums, and this is a Life Crafted album. So I was like, yay, I get to pull out my punch again. But it looks good. Actually, by the end of it, it looks amazing, and I liked how it all came together. So just pulling out my number storage. I will link this below. It's just from Amazon. And putting this 18 again. Normally I would be like pulling out 14 different 18s and trying to figure out which one works best. Nope, we pulled out the first one that we seen that was black, and it's going down. I was going to put a phrase sticker over that, but I was like, well, that paper is like 1.5 million phrase stickers, and I thought that maybe it was just a little too much. So we're going to stop there and call it good. All right. So now we are going to just fill out this card and just fancy it up a little bit. I am going to stamp with my Stanley, which is the stamp of choice for this whole album. So that will keep it nice and consistent and create some continuity throughout this album. So love this stamp. I just ordered, but we got the Cherry Limeade, which is going to be the focus of my 2024 album. A little less creepy, I guess, looking, I guess. I don't know. This one is a perfect stamp set. I could probably use this for every October Daily album, to tell you the honest truth. But we're going to switch it up for this next year. Now, again, I didn't have a bunch of like printed out things. I don't know when I was thinking of the story, what I was really thinking in my head, but several times when I went back into my journaling, I seen that it had been raining or started out rainy. So I just kind of put that kind of stuff in there. Also, we know that, you know, the rain doesn't make the leaves be able to crunch and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I just did that real quick. Nothing big, you know, nothing too crazy. So all right, so let's get that into the album. I love how it looks in the album, though. So good. And then I did realize when I was going back on the album that I never did print out or finish this tag for day 17. So when I was printing out that picture, I printed that out. So we watched The Haunted Mansion, I think, with 1.5 million other people. I think it was kind of the same thing with the year before, where everybody did a story about Hocus Pocus when it came out. But this was like the movie that came out this year, and a lot of people watched this movie, so lots of stories about this one. Pretty cute movie. We'll probably watch it again, honestly. Lots of good actors, and yeah, it was a pretty good one. I think it was pretty decent until I think the end, if I remember right, and then it got a little, you know, long-winded, I guess. But I do remember that I was waiting to find a stamp that had, you know, the stars to rate it. I couldn't find a 5-star one, but I did end up finding this 4-star one in a very long ago stamp set from Paper Person. So I did that, put a little bit of writing down about it, and then I will go back and ask the boys what they rate this movie. They can even remember it themselves. Maybe we'll have to watch it again this year in order to rate it. But I did see that Beetlejuice is coming out this year. Now, it is coming out in the beginning of September, so not quite October, but we might, you know, wait to go see it until October or something like that to make it, you know, I think that's always a fun thing to have a movie a year that is brand new to us. So, all right, so those two are done. Let's move on to story number 20. Not so much a fall story, but definitely something that happened in our lives. One night, my kids weren't really having much to do, and the puppy was stinky for some reason. I don't remember why. I can't remember if he got into something. I don't remember. But I was like, hey, Jamin, go give your dog a bath. Nothing unusual. I was cooking dinner, nothing big. He gets out, and my kids tend to like to chase our dog and dry him, you know, when they get the zoomies afterwards. And so they were just playing with him like usual. And the dog went to go jump on the couch and missed the couch. We're not sure. I don't know. I didn't see it happen, but supposedly he hit the edge of the couch and just started yelping and crying and not putting weight on one leg. Immediately went to his cage to like lay down. Would not put. I for sure thought he had broke his leg, or, you know, the I don't know, joint in his leg. We did not know what was going on. I mean, that dog was yelping uncontrollably for a while. So I immediately, of course, start calling vets, but of course it was like 6:59, just after everything had kind of closed, and the closest emergency vet was about an hour and a half away from us, and we all know how much that was going to be. He had stopped crying, and, you know, but Willie, after, you know, a little bit, and I was like, you know what, we're just going to let him rest for a little bit. And then all of a sudden we kind of not forgot about him, but just like was letting him rest and went about doing everything else. And my son looked over and was like, he's walking. He was still limping though. So I was like, oh gosh. But by the time my husband had gotten home that night and we, you know, had let him rest the rest of the night, as soon as my husband got home, he started jumping to see my husband. I'm like, whoa, we should not be jumping. So we don't know exactly what happened, but the next day we woke up and everything was fine. So we don't know if he like jammed it. We're not sure what all happened, but we all call him the pup that cried wolf that day. Um, and so that's kind of where this story came from. And like the next day he was out on a walk with me and enjoying the fall, the fallness. So I took this picture of him, and sent it to my husband, and he's just like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, me neither. I mean, because if you would have been in that household and heard the way that that dog was yelping and crying, I mean, you would have thought that his leg was broke. So we're not sure what happened, but we're just glad that everything was okay and that he didn't break a leg, because I was like, oh my God, the vet bills are going to be out of control here. And of course, right before Christmas, that just is not something that you want to happen. So I did print this out on vellum. Now I can say that. And then use Stanley to stamp out that title with Stays On ink. So stays on so that it doesn't smudge around on the vellum. Anytime you're on a slick surface like acetate or vellum, you definitely want to use Stays On. I did figure out that I think mine needs to be re-inked pretty well. It's just, I don't know. I think it doesn't do well anyways on, like super clean. I don't know how I want to say that, but anyways. All right, so I cut the things off. Then I'm about to go flip it and realize, I can't flip it because I left the edges on there. So I could not find my craft knife for the heck of me. So I did have to just use my scissors and cut down the edge of that and then tear that up. A little bit of adhesive left on the paper, so you will see my adhesive eraser come into this and get that off right there. If you don't have one of these, you need one of these. They're amazing. Again, I will link that below for you. And then I went back and forth so many times over this. I do still think I'm going to put a tab on this to show that flip it up, even though you should know. But guys, I did go back and forth with this one, and I told myself finally, I was trying to use embellishments. That's what I am trying to do. And that actually looked good to me. I don't know why I didn't keep that, but I knew that I had to get this 20 on here still. And, whatever. I just finally was like, forget it. Nothing's going on there. We're just going to put the 20 on. It looks decent. Like I said, I probably could have embellished it a little bit more. I did use one of the phrase stickers, double toil and trouble, because this dog is just always into something. And we're going to wrap that up pretty much. So we're going to put it on there. Yes, I shouldn't have punched the holes in this before connecting the two. Whoops. It was almost perfect though. I just had to cut off a little bit more at the end. But yay for getting back into October daily. It kind of, especially because I started this yesterday and it was like a 66-degree day after days and days of like 87. So we got a little break yesterday and lots of rain. So it kind of felt like a fall day. I don't know. But yay for getting back into this. Let me know, did you finish your October daily last year, or do you need to fall back into it and finish that up, or did you finish it? So we're going to work through this and then we will do a flip through at the end. Thank you guys all for being here. Let me know in the comments, did you finish or did you not? Talk to you soon.